So starting with your foldable for equations of circles, if to fix it, what you need to do is if you turn it sideways, you need to bend the top part down so that it meets in the middle evenly. Fold it and then bring the bottom part up. Make sure it meets in the middle and fold it. Then with your scissors, what you want to do is you're going to cut on this dashed line or dotted line. So that then what you end up with is 4 flaps. Okay, so what you end up with is like this. It folds up, you have a foldable, just like that. If you have any questions, be sure and ask Ms. Pearson, okay? I am here to help. So what I'm going to do is if you look, there's 4 different ways we can be given our information. So it says write an equation of a circle given the center and the radius, write an equation of a circle given a graph, write an equation of a circle given the center and point, and then graph a circle. So I'm only going to do one example from each one, and then I want you to complete the other example. You need to make sure you complete the examples before moving on. I want to check them in class, all right? So let's start with write an equation of a circle given the center and the radius. So let's look it up. And if we have center, what we have are our variables, okay? Your center is going to be known as h, comma, k, and your radius is 4, all right? So we have our variables. Your formula that we've been using is that it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So there's the formula. Now what we want to do is substitute in. Here's my h, here's my k, and then your r is the radius, and it goes in there. And all you do is substitute in to find your equation in standard form. So we have x minus 2 squared plus y minus negative 3 squared, and then we have 4 squared. So then at this point, when we write our final equation, we'll have x minus 2 squared plus y minus a negative becomes a plus 3 squared is equal to 16. We don't want to leave it as 4 squared. That's not the most simplified standard form. Standard form is that it's r squared, so you need to square it. So you need to at some point complete example 2. Let's look at write an equation of a circle given a graph. So if we look, what we need is HK, which is our center. Oh, it would help if you could see. And we also need our radius. So looking, here is my center. It's negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my center is negative 2, 4. My radius, in this case, when we have the graph, we can just count is 1, 2 units. So your radius is 2. If you plug it into your formula, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. If we come along, and you know me, I like my highlighters, highlight everything that goes where. Your h is negative 2. It's going to go there. Your k is the y value. I know it's a lot of variables. Don't get confused. hk is like a point, x comma y, but it's known as the center of your circle. So when we substitute in, we get x minus a negative 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 2 squared. When we simplify, we have a minus a negative, x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 4. There's your simplest equation. So let's look at 2 when given the center point. When given the center and a point. These are a little bit more drawn out. So it's the same premise though. However, now your center, you have the h and k, and we have a point. Well, we don't have the radius, but we do have x, y. Okay, so it's the same formula. You have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we don't know r, but we do, let me see if I can use the same colors, know that h is 2, k is 3, and they gave us a point. So we can see that our point is an x and a y, because a point is made up of x's and y's. So then, in this instance, we need to find out what r squared is. So if we substitute in, we have -3 minus 2 squared plus y, which is 1, minus k squared is equal to r squared. So -3 minus 2 gives us -5, keep it in parentheses, squared, plus 1 minus 3, which is -2 squared, which is equal to r squared. So in this case, you want to make sure those parentheses stick around. You don't want a negative number. Some of y'all got distracted when we were doing distance formula, finding negatives. You don't want negatives, so if you keep the parentheses, it gets rid of the negatives because we're squaring it. Because -5 times a -5 is 25. -4 times -4 is a +4. So then in this case, r squared is equal to 29. So then when you go to write your standard form of the circle, you're still using h and k, but you have x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to, we're going to substitute in that 29 for the r squared. That one is a little more lengthy, but you're still using the same stuff we've learned in the past, substitution of actually 2 points. So now let's look at example 7. What we're going to do is we're going to learn to graph a circle. So as long as you learn how to find standard equation of a circle, you can use this. In this case, we see that our HK, the center of our circle, so it's -3, it's the opposite sign, right? Because it's minus whatever. So we have 3 and 1. In this case, r squared is equal to 9. So if you take the square root, you get that r is equal to 3. So plot your center point, 1, 2, 3, up 1. And then I would plot 4 points, 3 units away. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 up, 1 down, 1 right, 1 left. So then you can connect them as a circle. Okay, there's your 4 examples. You need to complete the rest of them before moving on.